You're right.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Well, those were the words of little Cleo Smith answering the officer who was asking her 3 times what her name was. I'm going to play the clip again, all 22 seconds of it, but I do think that the state of disarray of Kelly's backyard, Terry Kelly's backyard, along with his bizarre behavior, and we're going to go through that in this episode, may be indicative of substance abuse, which may in turn have led to delusions and fantasies. If Kelly was playing with dolls, perhaps the thought occurred to him to want someone living to play with, almost like Geppetto and Pinocchio, but with some twisted psychology thrown in. Although Cleo has survived a nightmare, and obviously a very dangerous situation for her, there's something ironic about her being found alone inside a house filled with dolls. I mean, even her abductor wasn't there when she was found. And so she kind of had the house and the toys in some way to herself. And she seemed to be preoccupied with that. A quote from the Daily Mail, and I'll put a link to the article, reads as follows: "Police previously said that Cleo was playing with toys when she was found." Well, I think those toys were dolls, and it's possible that she wasn't as upset and alarmed and unhappy as she otherwise may have been if it wasn't for all of these toys, right?
Does he get those wonderful toys?
Cleo may have had a little fun playing with Kelly's huge doll collection while Australia spun, desperately trying to find her. And now let's listen to the full audio clip, and this was provided by the Western Australian Police Force.
I've got her. Hey, Bobby.
Bring the camera in.
Hey, Bobby, come here. Come here. I've got you, Bobby.
What's your name?
You're right.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name is
You're right,
Cleo.
Bobby.
Hello, Cleo.
Something else that's very interesting from the police footage, and perhaps easy to overlook, even easy to miss, is that in spite of the loud bangs and strange men entering the house late at night, Cleo didn't cry. When she was removed from Kelly's home, she didn't cry either. And there's actually footage of her being carried out the front door, and she's not crying. And this may actually have played a role in why she was found safe and unharmed. If Cleo cried easily, or is easily upset, one wonders whether her abductor may have run out of patience and goodwill, especially with what was going on in the search for him. So one's got to wonder, did luck play a certain role in this case? And of course, it wasn't, there's also the saying, you make your luck. So I also think very determined and focused police work led to what happened. But I think it was also something else. As far as I'm aware, there was a tip-off. There was someone that contacted the police from the community, and that has led to a breakthrough in the case. And the police thus far seem to be quite mum about it. We still don't know all the details. But what is quite interesting is this oddball. The oddball who abducted Cleo has appeared to be increasingly bizarre, threatening journalists during his court appearance by saying, "I'm coming for you." And as I say, it appears that a tip-off was what led to a breakthrough in the case. This is a quote from the Daily Mail. As I say, I'll put a link to that in the description. Investigators, quote, "Investigators have also not disclosed exactly what led them to the house, saying only that a report of a car in the area was crucial to tracking the girl down," end quote. Now, what may be the case, you may have a situation that the CCTV footage of this vehicle at 3 a.m., it's possible that this footage was circulated and that officers, when they did their knocks on doors, said, "Have you seen this vehicle?" I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? And someone may have said, "You know what, there's a guy just down the road who's got that vehicle." So something like that could have happened. And it's possible that they're trying to protect the identity of the person who said this. The other thing is, no reward has been, the $1 million has not been given to anyone. So it seems sort of a murky area that whoever provided the tip-off, well, if it was absolutely crucial to them finding the abductor, then they should be getting the reward. So I think to some extent, whatever the tip-off was, it was something that led the police perhaps in the right direction, right? So maybe it wasn't someone giving the address, just saying, I thought I saw the car in that neighborhood or something. So it still is a little bit murky, the information. We don't know exactly what is going on. So another quote from the article gives an impression of the individual that we're dealing with here. Quote, Terry Kelly walked into court barefoot and interrupted the judge several times as the charges were read to him, including to shout, "I'm coming for you," to journalists in the gallery. He did not enter a plea and did not apply for bail. End quote. So just, we've also heard that he apparently banged his head and apparently not only once but several times. So one wonders what is going on in this person's mind. I also think one can look at the basics of this individual. 36 years old, I think someone described him as quite, just to be blunt, they described him as a big fat bloke, right? But the bottom line is he was 36 years old, he was single, he was a loner, and he had created a phantom family online. He sort of created Facebook profiles for other family members, and yet he was actually on his own. Also interesting is the windows of his home were blacked out. Now it's unclear whether they were blacked out before Cleo was brought to the address or if they'd been blacked out all along. If they'd been blacked out all along, what was going on in that house? Were there other transactions taking place? Was there other perhaps illegal activities taking place there? What activities were taking place? So there's quite a lot that we still need to find out. Another quote from the article is as follows, quote, police have given few details about how they believe Kelly abducted Cleo or how she got from the campsite where she went missing to the house where she was found, end quote. Now, to me, I don't think it's rocket science. I think how she got there was in the vehicle. And although the police haven't confirmed that it's that blue Mazda, it actually appears grey in some photos because it's covered in kind of a layer of dust. But I think it is from the vehicle. So I would join the dots saying the CCTV footage identified the basic shape of the vehicle, that it was a sedan and that it was Terry Kelly's sedan, and they then found that vehicle in the back garden perhaps. And so that to me makes sense. Of course, we don't know this for a fact. I'm just speculating, but it would make sense, wouldn't it? Then police also haven't commented on the Facebook profiles linked to Kelly, and the article describes it as painting a picture of a deeply strange personality. Well, that is for sure. Now, I've put a few samples in this video where you can see that he describes himself as Bratz de Luca. And I think he describes himself in certain profiles as being Italian or something. The other thing that's quite interesting is he was emotionless for a lot of his hearing, nodding to show that he understood what was being said, and at one point took a long time to acknowledge his name. I think the question that a lot of people are asking is, are we dealing with an abductor? And we know that he's a bit of an oddball, but the question is, was he a deviant, and if so, in what way? Because we've been led to believe whenever there's an abductor, it's a pedophile abductor. So was this fellow a pedophile? Was he a deviant? Was he just an oddball? Who was he? And so over the next few days, probably we're going to find out more who this oddball Terry Kelly really was. And certainly we get a clue to him, a strange personality, a strange identity through his social media. So I'm not going to take it further than that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You can click on the light blue icon on the bottom right of your screen. Like, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.